In that, I'm now going to recognize Ranking Member Meeks from New York for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Deputy Secretary Regas, I appreciate you're here to explain the Secretary's reorganization plans. You know, this is a dark time for American diplomacy. President Trump continues to isolate the United States, alienate our allies, and create space for adversaries like Russia and China to fill the void. We face serious global challenges, from Russia's war in Ukraine and instability in the Middle East to great power competition with China. America's diplomats and development experts are our first line of defense. If we are serious about leading globally, we need a capable, strategic, and fully staffed diplomatic corps. Instead, Mr. Secretary, you and Secretary Rubio are gutting the very institutions we rely on to confront these threats. Just days ago, you fired more than 1,300 State Department employees. Secretary Rubio claims it was to put America first. But the people you dismissed, career public servants, many with decades of experience, working hard just as our folks in the military, believing in America. One soft power, one hard defense, but all patriots of the United States who have all put America first each and every day. They've served in war zones like Afghanistan and Iraq, responded to genocide in Burma, and helping bring Americans home during the COVID crises. Let's be clear. You've created the largest brain drain in the State Department's modern history, occurring as China and others expand their global footprint while we shrink ours. And you're doing it without a plan, proper consultation, or transparency. When this committee asked for a rationale behind the state's 15% staffing cut, no one could answer. Like so many of our oversight questions to your department, we're still waiting. Your budget officials fell back on talking points about how the State Department's budget has doubled since 2000, ignoring inflation, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and the department's expanded mission, including implementing programs like PEPFAR, which has saved over 25 million lives and helped slow the spread of HIV and AIDS worldwide, even here at home. Meanwhile, the Defense Department's budget has almost tripled in that same 25-year time frame. Both our soldiers are heroes, and our members of the State Department are heroes, working for America every day. Yes, state's budget has grown to meet new challenges, but staffing hasn't kept pace. And if the Secretary really wants to shorten the clearance process, the Secretary can do that with a memo, not blind firings. Beyond the numbers, your disregard for congressional oversight is unacceptable. Since January, we've sent dozens of letters asking about plans to reorganize the State Department and unlawfully collapse USAID into state, roll back mandated programs, diversity efforts, and close offices supporting our Afghan allies. Guess what we have received? Almost nothing. The law requires consultation for a reason. And if the Secretary can't even stay to answer questions at the one hearing this committee held with a state official, it's no surprise his staff follows suit. If you don't have answers to basic oversight questions, it would be wise to slow down and consider the consequences. The Secretary claimed this reorganization was a product of consultation with the workforce. That's false. Your colleague, Andrew Vieperk, admitted it was designed by fewer than 10 people. The Secretary also claims his firings wouldn't affect overseas posts. Also false. We've heard from diplomats who have already sent their families and belongings abroad only to receive termination notices. Others assigned to serve as critical posts like Baghdad were fired weeks before starting language training or deploying. You even fired officers traveling with the secretary, people preparing his talking points for the very East Asia meetings he was tweeting about. That's not reform. That's chaos. You fired veterans serving at stake without cause, without process, without dignity. One of those veterans said it best, and I quote, "These processes were not well thought out or executed. The personal aspect of this process, was as botched as it could have been, and it was completely avoidable," unquote. And you aren't just firing experts, you're gutting the programs they ran, programs that advanced America's interests and protected American lives. What exactly is America First really all about? And let's not forget the $2.9 billion of so-called America First Opportunities Fund, a slush fund Secretary Rubio has proposed to spend on President Trump's whims with zero congressional oversight. House Republicans love to demand transparency. Will they demand it now or rush to rubber stamp his latest power grab? So, Secretary Riggs, are you putting American diplomacy on a dangerous path? Step back from the brink, restore the dignity of American diplomats, and work with Congress on a smarter, strategic way forward, one that strengthens, not sabotages, our global leadership. And with that, I yield back.